Hearty welcome to one and all. I am Rohini Badwal from Gokhale Education Society's JDC Bidco English Medium High School with 8th standard 7th chapter, that is metals and non-metals. Can you recall, students? What are the three types in which the elements are generally classified? And what are the metals and non-metals that we use every day in life? Comment your answers, students, in the comment section. Now see, students, today we are going to see what are the metals and non-metals. Let us see first what are metals. Gold, silver, iron, copper, aluminium, magnesium, calcium, sodium, platinum are a few metals. Metals lose their valence electron to produce positively charged ions, that is cations. And non-metals are carbon, sulfur, phosphorus are few non-metals. Generally, non-metals are brittle and non-lustrous. Now let us see. Substances are divided into two properties, that is physical and chemical, and we are going to see both properties of metals and non-metals. So let us see the first property, that is physical properties of metal and non-metal. The first property is luster. So metals have luster, non-metals do not have luster. See the second, that is hardness. So metals are hard, whereas non-metals are soft. See the example, iron and rubber. See the third property, that is malleability. So metals are malleable, whereas non-metals do not malleable. See the fourth property is ductility. So metals are ductile, they can be transformed into a wire, whereas non-metals are not ductile. Next is sonority. So metals have sonority, whereas non-metals do not have sonorous sound, that is sonority. So iron, copper and gold, example is given iron bell. Let us move towards the next physical property, that is conduction of heat. So metals are good conductor of heat, whereas non-metals are poor conductor of heat. Examples are given, iron, copper and gold all conducts heat, whereas plastic, rubber, wood all are non-metals which are poor conductors of heat. See the next property, conduction of electricity. So metals are good conductor of electricity, whereas non-metals are bad conductor of electricity. See the example, iron nail and copper wire are good conductors, whereas sulfur and coal piece, they are bad conductor of electricity. See the differentiate between, students. Metals have luster and various colors like silver. So non-metals are not lustrous and various colors are available. See the second, solids malleable and ductile, whereas solids brittle, hard and soft. Good conductors of heat and electricity are metals. Poor conductors of heat and electricity are non-metals. Metals are basic ionic solids, whereas oxide molecular substances form acidic solution. See the metals. What metals form cations, aqueous solution, whereas non-metals, anions or oxyanions are there. Let us see the physical properties of metals. So students, there are mainly 10 properties of physical properties are there, and we are going to see one by one. The first property is hardness, that is physical state. So metals are hard, whereas non-metals are not hard. Under ordinary temperature, metal stays in solid state. However, metals like mercury and gallium are exception which are in liquid state even at room temperature. Whereas non-metals are ordinary temperature, occurs as solid, liquid and gaseous. For example, solid are CSP and liquids are bromine, carbon are hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen gas. See the second property, that is luster. So metals have lusters, whereas non-metals do not have luster. See the example. If we will see metals, if we have taken copper vessel at a home, we will scrub with lemon and rinse with water. Observe the luster before and after cleaning. Lights get reflected from the clean or freshly cut surface of metals and the metals look lustrous. Whereas non-metals do not have luster except diamond and iodine crystals. Some non-metals are colorless while others have different colors. See the third one, that is malleability. If we will take an iron nail, place it on a platform and keep on hammering it. After some time you will see a thin sheet forming. This property is called malleability of metals. So non-metals are neither ductile and nor malleable. See the next property, that is 6, that is conduction of heat. Take a copper plate, fix some wax at one of its ends, hit the other end and observe what happens. Discuss with teacher. You will see that metals are good conductor of heat. Silver, copper and aluminium are the best conductor of heat. Whereas non-metals are bad conductor of heat and electricity, except graphite, which is a very good conductor of electricity. Let us see the next one, that is density. Metals have high density, that is sodium, potassium and lithiums are exception, while lower density than water. The density of lithium is only 0.53 gram per cubic centimeter, whereas non-metals have low density. See the next one, that is melting points and boiling point. Generally metals have high melting points and boiling points, and exceptions are there for sodium and potassium. Non-metals have low melting and boiling points. Exception, the solid non-metals carbon and boron melt at high temperature. Let us see the sonority. What is the metal that your school bell is made of? How does the bell is function? Metals are sonorous. They produce sound on striking. And whereas non-metals are not sonorous. Hope so students, these physical properties of metals and non-metals are understood and they are very clear to you. So there are mainly 10 physical properties of metals and non-metals are there. The first is physical state, second is luster, third is hardness, fourth is ductility, fifth is malleability, sixth is conduction of heat, seventh is conduction of electricity, eighth is density, ninth is melting point and boiling point, and the last one is a sonority. So students, you have to go through them and you have to write the difference between them. Let us see what are the metalloids then. Some elements such as arsenic, silicon, germanium, antimony have properties which are intermediate between metals and non-metals. Such elements are called metalloids. So here we have finished half of the lesson students. Rest of the lesson we will see in the next part. Thank you.